Hello, how's it going? In today's video, I'm covering the flight to Kalimdor and Under the Burning Sky from Chronicle Volume 3. So let's go! As the Scourge approached Dalaran, Antonidas and the Kirin had a little bit of a brain trust meeting to prepare. They decided to evacuate most of the civilians whilst leaving behind a small resistance force. Sounds counterproductive, but this was made up of the most gifted magi in the world. Plus Dalaran itself was a sort of weapon. It's full of magic, innit? Many of the arcane barriers would destroy any undead that touched them. However, they weren't feeling all that confident, to be honest. The Scourge had already taken Lordaeron, kel'thuzad had fallen, possibly two of the mightiest nations in the world, so Dalaran was probably screwed. Antonidas was aware of this. He briefly recalled the hooded stranger who had warned him and urged him to flee, and he thought to himself, probably should have listened to that guy. Hindsight's a bitch. It was too late for him to head west now. He had a city to protect. But there was someone who could act on the stranger's advice. Jaina Proudmore. At first, Jaina was like, sod off, I'm not leaving. She wanted to stay and defend Dalaran, but she also kinda wanted to see Arthas. She still felt guilty about abandoning him at Stratholme and thought maybe there was a way to save him. But Antonidas convinced her and she relented. It was pretty much guaranteed that Dalaran would fall. If both of them died, then who would be left to heed the stranger's warning? So they parted ways, both knowing but not expressing that this was probably a final goodbye. Jaina spent the following days working tirelessly to rally as many refugees as she could. When she finally set sail for Kalimdor, she was accompanied by forces from nearly every Alliance race. Humans, elves, dwarves and gnomes. Though they came from different places, they united behind Jaina for one reason. She represented something that had almost entirely disappeared from Azeroth. Hope. Meanwhile, on the way to Dalaran, kel'thuzad and Arthas had a little chat. Kel'thuzad revealed that the Lich King wanted to rebel against the Legion when the time was right. You can't trust those bloody demons. They'll cast the Scourge away once they have their hands on Azeroth. And Arthas was like, okie dokie. He wasn't a big fan of the Dreadlords anyway. They'd been following him around and it was kind of annoying. He was excited about the idea of striking them down just as he had Mal'Ganis in Northrend. But for now, he'd continue to be a good little lapdog and retrieve the Book of Medivh and be ready for this rebellion. Once they reached Dalaran, they met a pretty formidable resistance. Arcane energy bombarded the undead, wreaking havoc. But this frontal assault was a diversion. Arthas, kel'thuzad and a small force snuck in whilst the defenders were busy defending. Tichondrius was there too, keeping an eye on Arthas, making sure there was no funny business or something. With kel'thuzad's inside knowledge, Arthas made it past Dalaran's defences, but as he approached the vault, he found Antonidas waiting for him. The Archmage put his heart and soul into fighting Arthas, and he failed. Frostmourne claimed another soul. At this point, a strange emotion struck Arthas, some fragment of his past. He'd noticed Jaina's absence, and he felt relieved, but that emotion disappeared almost immediately, and we'll just pretend it never happened. Kel'thuzad opened the enchanted vault and retrieved the artifact. Tichondrius noticed another relic, the Skull of Gul'dan, and he bloody loved it. It had an aura of fel energy, so he grabbed it. Arthas ordered the Scourge to withdraw. They had what they needed. Archimonde and his demons were waiting. As kel'thuzad prepared to open the way for the Legion, he examined the Book of Medivh. He'd never had permission to touch it before, and he felt like a kid at Christmas. This book was full of extraordinary knowledge. He drew on all of it and weaved a spell greater than anything he'd ever been capable of in life. A rift between Azeroth and the Twisting Nether opened, and the demons poured in. The first to arrive were the Fellhounds and Infernals. Then the greater demons like Manaroth and the Doomlord Kazak, and then came Archimonde. It had been more than 10,000 years, but they were finally back on Azeroth. This was the best day ever. The first thing Archimonde did was use Dalaran's energies against it. The city crumbled. He wasn't just going to leave them. They'd be a constant thorn in the Legion's side if left unchecked. The next thing he did was transfer control of the Scourge to the Dreadlords. The Lich King had served his purpose, and now he wasn't needed. Truth is, Archimonde didn't trust the Lich King at all. He then ordered all of his forces to gather in the heart of Lordaeron and crush any remaining Alliance forces. This would ensure they encountered no resistance in the next stage of their plan. However, he sent Manaroth and Tichondrius ahead to Kalimdor so that they could clear the way for the Legion's arrival. And we're leaving it there! Well, that escalated quickly. In the next Volume 3 video, Medivh tries to get the Alliance and Horde to work together, and Thrall starts to notice his people are acting a little crazy. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. But thanks for watching, and see ya!